warped, we are, and also edit transformed, I want to do minor warping to it again. And the reason is that this is your time to make any final edits to your shape. I'm looking at mine right now, and it looks too crescent moon-esque. So what I'm going to do is go back to filter at the top, and then I'm going to go back to liquefy right here. So filter, liquefy. In here, I'm really only going to use these two. This one that I found to be really nice, the forward warp, and the twirl clockwise. All right, I'll hit OK. That is my final shape. I like that better. Broke a little bit of that crescent moon up. All right, so now we got to do more background edits and color swapping and all this cool stuff. So the first thing we want to do with warp is we want to create yet another duplicate of it because we're going to do some color tweaking to it. So with warp, click and drag it down onto this. You can just leave this called warp copy. What we're going to do here is we're going to hold down Command and hit U on the keyboard. That'll bring up Hue Saturation. Again, that was Command U. Another way to get to that is Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation. What I recommend that you do is you take this hue, you move it all the way over to the opposite side, the far left or the far right. I think they end up being the same color. Then hit OK. And you might be saying, whoa, wait, why the color change? If you look at my original one, this one here, I put it on soft light. And I'll get into what that is now. So when you have warp copy selected, up here is the layer setting normal. I'm going to click this drop down arrow. And I'm going to choose soft light. Ready? There's the before, there's the after. Now, you might not want that everywhere, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the eraser. I said we were going to layer mask this. I think we just eraser tool. It's easier. So here's the eraser tool. It's right here. Make your brush size kind of big. And you're just going to click on a few random spots. And you can make it really big. It will be circular, but it goes with your pattern pretty well. So we're going to click around at a few spots and erase a few spots to bring back our original colors, but we can leave that like opposite duller color in some other areas. I like leaving it on the outskirts and then like having the insides be relatively vibrant. Okay, now that we have that little mix, again, here's the before and there's with a little bit of that. It gives it that shadowy effect on the sides. I think that's cool. All right. After the warp effect, let's take a look at what I did on this original one. I think the next best thing, let me hide these, is that we do these circles right here. So this can get complicated. You don't need to do circles as well. So here's how you do this. Look over here on the far left of your tools and down towards the bottom. I think by default it's the rectangular tool. It's this one. You can either finger click or click and hold and you'll get these options. I did a circle for the center of my shape. You can use any of these other than custom and line. Don't use those. So really, rectangle, ellipse, triangle, or polygon. For this one, I'm going to try triangle. So I'm going to click and hold on triangle or let go on triangle. And then I'm going to make one by clicking and holding down. And dragging. If I hold the shift key down, it will be a perfect triangle, and I do want a perfect triangle. So I'm going to hold down shift as I click and drag this triangle, make it pretty big, and then let go. I think by default it'll be black, whatever color you have selected, it doesn't matter. We're going to change that in a little bit. Grab your move tool and move the triangle to the center of your image. It should snap. You should feel like a little bit of a snap to it right there. All right. Now, we need two colors that are representative from your shape that this triangle is going to be based on. So if you look at the bottom here, I have black and this magenta. I'm going to double click on the black and it brings up the color picker. In this color picker, I could go into here to choose the family of colors and then the individual shade in the big block. But you'll notice that if I scroll anywhere in my photo, I have this little icon appears that looks like an eyedropper. If you click anywhere on your photo, it'll pick that exact color. So I'm going to try to grab a yellow right here. I'm clicking on yellow. You'll see that it literally chose it right there. And I'm going to hit OK. Now for this other color, this magenta, I'm going to double tap that. That'll bring up a color picker windows again, and I'm going to go for the orange, or more of like a burnt sienna, I guess, and I will click OK. Reason why I chose both these colors down here in the bottom left is we are going to put a gradient on your triangle. And how you do that is this. Once you have your triangle selected, you'll see this property window came back, but we actually need it this time, so that's good. See what it says fill right here? Right there is black. Double click that, or click on it, not even double click, and you'll see a couple options pop up right here. This third one here is gradient. Go ahead and choose that. By default, it'll just be white to black. But if you look right here, the first gradient option is the gradient of the two colors that you have selected. So we'll click on that. And there you go. Voila. If you would rather it be the other way around, where the one color is at the top and the other one's at the bottom, you can move these to the opposite sides. So I'll move the orange over there, and then I'll move the yellow up here. And you could also move the yellow down a little bit more too if you want that. So I'll tweak that right there. I like that. I'm going to hit return on the keyboard, and then I don't need this properties window anymore again, so I'll hit up here with this little 3 button, and I'll hit close tab group. Okay, now that this triangle is done, we don't really want it to be a shape anymore. If you look at the layer, you'll see this little icon right here. This can get mighty annoying going forward, so what I recommend is 2-finger click on this, and you're going to see an option that says Rasterize layer. Choose that. Just gets rid of that, and it'll make things a little bit easier here in the near future. Now, my shape for this outside one, I did a few edits to it. So we're going to try to do that. Over here where it says layer mode, normal, I think I used lighten. Right there, yes. And opacity. Opacity, if something's 100% opacity, you can see all of it, but if you turn it down, you'll start to see less and less. Find something that looks good where you can see most of it, but not like all of it. Right here looks pretty good for me. I think on the other one is like 70 something. And now we're going to duplicate this said triangle. Click and drag it to the new layer icon to make triangle. Well, it's called triangle 1 copy. I don't like that. I'm going to double click that text. Triangle 2. Then I'm going to shrink him down. I'm going to try to move it towards the center of this triangle. Right there. It's too light, and the layer setting's off a little bit. I think on my little one, yeah, multiply, and I left it actually at 100%. So let's go to the layer mode here, and we are looking for multiply. It's up here, and then the opacity was 62 here. I'm just going to bump that back up to 100, and you'll see that it does get a little bit darker right there. I like that. If you want it to be even more darker, you could go image, adjustments, hue saturation, and turn the lightness down a little bit. Ooh, I like that right there. Cool. Hit OK. All right. We're good on shape. If you want to rotate your shape, I guess it doesn't matter if you did a circle. This would not apply. You could rotate both triangles at once. I have triangle 2 selected. If I hold shift and click on triangle 1, you'll see that both layers go gray. This means I have them both selected right now. So if I take the move tool, top left guy, this right here, if you go to the corner pocket, will resize it. I don't really want that, but if you hover a little outside of it, you'll see that your icon changes to like a curved arrow. Now you can click and rotate and kind of move this guy around and see if a different position looks better. Actually digging that. Yeah. Hit enter when you're satisfied, and then click off of it, or click off the move tool, change it to something else. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. All right.